All right. I decided just to go ahead and use this. Why not? Is Israel Jewish? Let me be very specific about this. People question, what does Jewish mean? Does it mean Judaism, the religion, varying types where they follow the Torah or the Mishnah or the Talmud or whichever other book that you want to say that Judaism goes by? And do they send their kids to yeshiva? Do they restrict their the way they eat to kosher law and other such matters, right? So why do I bring this up? I bring this up because of the Elkin law. Now, I'm going to make this a tilde thing, but basically there is a gentleman named Ze'ev Elkin who is actually part of the he's part of like the construction committee or something like that of Israel. So let's go ahead. Let me be very specific here what this actually means. Okay, so the so-called Elkin law, this is from the Jerusalem Post. So-called Elkin law designed to get construction and housing minister, Ze'ev Elkin from the New Hope Party onto the Rabbinical Judges Selection Committee passed in the Knesset early Wednesday. And this is from, I just want to make sure, yeah, this is from yesterday, July 28th, by Jeremy Sharon. The legislation seeks to add 2 appointees to the 11-member committee, including an extra minister, which would allow Elkin to join it. When the bill was brought for a third reading 2 weeks ago, Knesset Speaker Miki Levy from Yesh Atid, which is the centrist party, that's the one that was in this coalition. This is part of the larger coalition that was built between Yamina, Yesh Atid, apparently New Hope, and also the minor Palestinian party. I cannot think of the name of it. I think it's like Islamic Post Party, something like that, or Palestinian Post Party. Nonetheless, when the bill was brought for a third reading, Miki Levy from Yesh Atid voted against it by accident, resulting in a tie vote and its defeat. To revive it, the coalition needed to bring the bill back for a first reading once again. So basically, okay, we'll go ahead and skip to the chase here. But basically, here's what it is. Is that now the Ze'ev Elkin wants to put in, basically what they say is this. This is for no one dares touch the Rabbinical Judges Selection Committee or the Qadis, the Islamic Judges Selection Committee, because God forbid what would happen. But here, due to a whim of a specific man who wants to be on the committee, you are turning the world upside down. Elkin has repeatedly declined requests for an interview regarding the law and why it is so important to be on the committee. So why is this important? It is important because basically this Ze'ev Elkin wants to allow more moderate rabbis onto this Rabbinical Judges Selection Committee. There's a lot of power and there's a lot of clout behind this belief here. So let me make sure here. The Elkin law, its sole objective was to get Elkin onto the selection committee for rabbinical judges. And to this end, the coalition agreement between Elkin's New Hope Party and Yesh Atid stated explicitly that the agreement bound both parties to get the housing minister, that is Elkin, on the panel. So we're seeing the results of the coalition government to kick out Netanyahu. And now we're seeing, are people going to hold up to their bargain? That's really what it is. Basically what they want is, at least from my reading of it, is they want to allow Israel to become slightly more moderate. There's this battle that exists in Israel where, are we Jewish or are we a democracy? This is something that even people like Meir Kahane have brought up. Now, of course, people say, "Oh, Meir Kahane is awful. His followers did kill a lot of people." Like I said, you can look that up. But Jewish Defense League, etc., etc. The Elkin Law was passed under the guise of expanding representation for women on the committee, which it does not do. Basically, what it is that they want more moderate rabbis to be brought onto this rabbinical committee because they want to give the image that they're better off, right? They want to calm the country down. This is what politics does, right? They will co-opt some ideas and keep the people happy. And they'll throw you a bone and be like, "Hey, we reformed some things. There you go. Shut up. Leave our government alone. We're going to rule you just as we damn well please. But we'll throw you a bone so you can leave us alone and we can continue to do what we want to do." That's really what it is, but that's my opinion. So the Elkin Law adds 2 extra slots in the committee, including one minister of any gender, allowing the housing minister to get on the panel, as well as an additional female rabbinical courts advocate to be chosen by the justice minister, currently Elkin's party leader and ally, Gideon Sa'ar. I'm not Sa'ar -AR. That's how it looks. Not like Saar, like the German region, but yeah. Anyway, why? Oh, God damn it, I hate that. Okay, why, it might be asked, is Elkin so anxious to get on this esteemed, if not especially prestigious committee, to the extent that the state of Israel has changed its statute book for him? The question the Jerusalem Post has posed to Elkin and his spokesman on numerous occasions, he's declined to answer. What are Elkin's criteria for a good rabbinical court judge? Does he favor conservative judges or liberal ones? What does he think about halakhic prenuptial agreements, which some divorce rights groups promote as a silver bullet for divorce recalcitrants, but which some rabbinical judges, including the chief rabbis, oppose? Organizations involved in working with and in the rabbinical courts say they have never before noticed his involvement in matters pertaining to those courts. Why is it so critical for Elkin to sit on these committees and not any other member of his party, the coalition, or the government? We don't know because he hasn't answered these questions. It's pretty obvious. He understands the influence and power of privilege, the influence and power of patronage, should they wish to utilize it, since those who wish to influence the appointments from outside the committee seek the ear and good graces of the committee members. Politics is certainly a dirty business, and compromises are always made because of different elements of any government for the sake of advancing the primary interests of that government. Yeah, Elkin himself is a critical part of the coalition. He was crucial in formulating the coalition agreements that established the government. And he is the most experienced member of the coalition's legislative leadership, with in-depth knowledge of Knesset regulations and its inner workings. But passing so-called personal laws is an example of behavior.
Dog. One more time before I leave.
God damn. All right, sorry about that. Oh, man, I'm going to have to do some editing down. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. Oh, where the fuck was I with this reading? Okay, for years, the current coalition government accused us of seeking to dole out jobs. Now, in the height of impudence and hypocrisy, you are not only passing a special jobs law, increasing the committee and changing its makeup, but you are also doing it to create personal jobs. Yariv Levin of Likud said that. MK, which is, I guess, is like an MP. The hypocrisy is disgraceful, and this law is shameful, and this is a precedent that, unfortunately, the state of Israel, Israeli citizens will pay for. See, the thing is, there's another article that I was reading, I think, from Jerusalem Post as well, that basically says that Ze'ev Elkin has worked with the religious right as well. The thing is, I think Ze'ev Elkin is just more of a centrist. Same thing with Naftali Bennett. Is, at least for the majority of the religious right, is that he gives enough lip service to them so that he's not seen as bad, but he still wants to maintain Israel. He still wants to be able to bomb people, and he has proven himself to be loyal to the Israeli state, even though, just like Netanyahu, he's somebody that was pretty much raised in the United States. But that's a whole other thing. I think that's all I have to say on that. Oh, ow. My cat is jumping on me. That's normal for her. Anyway, sorry about that. The point is Israel at least had the idea that it was meant for religious Jews to live their lives. But we see that now the corruption is continuing, where Ze'ev Elkin, apparently, at least according to some, even within Likud, the furthest right party, well, the furthest secular right party, relatively speaking. I know people are going to say, Likud is pretty religious right. I know, but it's not as religious as other right-wing groups within Israel. Like I said, there are further right groups than Likud. In general, Likud is fairly secular, but they have given lip service to the religious right. Anywho, it's very complicated. I will say that Israel is slowly becoming more of a just outright democracy, and they are limiting the power of religious Jews. And I think this will lead to some big problems. This is the whole idea of secularism versus religiosity versus, all that sort of thing. Anywho, I think that's all I have to say on that. I will be editing this down, so hopefully it's not going to be as long, that long dead air that I had when I took care of some stuff. So anyway, hopefully I'll enjoy this. See you later. Goodbye.